It's track reviews.
Hey, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it is time for a track review where I give my thoughts on a brand new track. You know what it is. This new one from Macintosh Plus will do. If you guys are familiar with the whole vaporwave trend, you know that years and years and years ago, Macintosh Plus's Floral Shop album is pretty much the record that kicked off the internet's continued infatuation, with this ever-evolving genre of music. Now, even though Macintosh Plus, or the main brain behind Macintosh Plus, Vectroid, has stayed very prolific since the release of that album, many other records put out, many other projects under her belt, Macintosh Plus has remained, Floral Shop has remained one of her biggest albums, if not her biggest record, to the point where it's pretty much her calling card at this point. I imagine as an artist it can be kind of daunting to have such a large release hanging like a shadow over you with every single thing that you do. And I feel like Vectroid almost confirms that on her Twitter page after having confirmed that there is a new Macintosh Plus record on the way. I mean, who the fuck can say, I guess, but I've spent a long time now trying to figure out how to leave a legacy that's worth more than fucking Floral Shop, and I've decided the best route is to make the most opposite sounding music possible. So, going into this, I'm not going to expect this at all to sound like Floral Shop, and honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's been years and years since Floral Shop. Even Vaporwave itself, if Vectroid Macintosh Plus decided to stay within that realm, has evolved so far past that sound since. Also going down here, we have some tags: Data Dream, Electronic, Experimental, Hip Hop, Jazz, New Age, Noise, Plunderphonics, Pop, Psychedelic, Vaporwave, and Portland, my favorite genre. Okay, Sick and Panic. Let's give this track a try. I'm excited to give it a shot. I really want to see what's up. I want to hear some new beginnings here, and I'm definitely going to hear something, because this thing is 12 minutes long. Let me give it a try, let me give it a taste, and I will be back with my thoughts. Sick and Panic, first mix, ba-bam. Wow. WHAT? That was insane. Well, I feel like that lived up very much to Vectroid's little teaser there, in terms of it sounding vastly different from Floral Shop. Yes and no. I think there are a lot of aesthetic choices that are a consistent thread here throughout much of Vaporwave. You do have that classic Vapor hit of nostalgia, that weird new age serenity to some of the samples placed throughout the song. So that much is very much Vaporwave about the track. And, you know, don't forget, many records in the genre from this era are heavily sample-based, very much an expression of Plunderphonics in a way, and certainly this track lives up to that in a huge way. Let's get into some of what I noticed here. Right off the bat, the samples on this thing are not smooth at all, not smooth in the way that one might expect from Macintosh Plus, expect from Floral Shop. The samples are jittery, they skip, it's very hard edits, it's a very dry mix, which adds to this quality where it feels very glitched, almost like you're listening to something that's badly coded. My first reaction to maybe the initial 10 seconds of the song was like, oh, is Bandcamp freaking out? Is something wrong with my computer here? Do I have to fix something? That was literally my first reaction to this thing. So in the intro to this track, Macintosh Plus hits us with a lot of disorienting, chaotic, stuttery edits. It's like something's broken, something's malfunctioning, and while it's very wild and it's pretty out there, there is, if you're paying attention, some patterns. There is maybe a weird bit of a groove to it. But then around 138, Vectroid suddenly introduces some watery synthesizers that are very vast and beautiful, a hit of some jazz harmonica. There are more jittery edits going on underneath all of this, but this is the point where the song really begins to take form. The beats, the grooves get more punchy, the bass is roaring, it is gigantic, and it's at this point where what Macintosh Plus is delivering here feels less like a traditional piece of vaporwave and more like a super sample-heavy, experimental, and somewhat abrasive, oddly formed bit of glitch hop combined with maybe some dubstep or deconstructed club. Vectroid basically just feeds the track through one section after another. Each one is disorienting, but still pretty groovy and engaging. It's kind of a non-stop experimental sample-based thrill ride. And across this 12-minute monster of a track, again, we get whiffs of experimental electronic music, of hip-hop, of glitch music, of, again, those traditional vaporwave aesthetics. And what balance you're hearing of these styles just depends on the section of the song you're listening to. It's just constantly changing, shifting, but as it changes, it's just continually loud, bold, in your face. I just personally had my head wrapped around each new idea the song was presenting. There was a moment around 8:14 or so where I thought the groove at that point in the song being slowly extended out created a bit of a lull, but then for somewhat of a finale, Vectroid came through with one of the hardest beats on the entire track and coasted out from there. As I said earlier, and this is maybe my main issue with the cut, the mix generally is a little bit dry, though I can still see how obviously that enhances some of the more mechanical qualities of the song that Macintosh Plus Vectroid is clearly trying to emphasize here. There were elements of it that reminded me of Oneotrix Point Never's replica. There were elements of it that reminded me of PC Music. There were elements of it that reminded me of Death Grips. But then you also have to take into account here that Vectroid has been making music for years and years and years. So obviously I'm not stating these as being huge influences on this track or anything like that, merely creative parallels with contemporaries. But still, having said that, what Vectroid has delivered here sounds very much unlike much of what I'm hearing out of Vaporwave right now, or any other artist that I think even sounds slightly close to what's going on here. And if Macintosh Plus continues in this very adventurous, pull out all the fucking stops direction with this new record, it's going to be a doozy. And, you know, I think in a way this song resolves a lot of the issues that I originally had with Floral Shop. It's not that I dislike the source material or sample-based music or anything like that, but, you know, I found a lot of the edits off that record, while sure, it's a bit of an aha moment on the whole, I thought a lot of the edits were kind of basic and underwhelming as I listened to the project more and more and more, as much as I respect it for being a bit of a watershed moment creatively in the genre that it's so significant in. But this, I mean, the edits are amazing. The patterns are fantastic. The progression of the overall song is incredible. This is music from Macintosh Plus that I didn't even know that I needed, and I'm very happy that it exists now. So Sick and Panic, loving it, and this most certainly would have made it onto my year-end singles and songs list had I not already made that. That's kind of a bummer, but still, it's a great track and gives me something to really look forward to in 2020. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on the cut. We are going to leave it down below so you can try it out for yourself, of course. Make sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments if you have any strong opinions on this song, positive or negative. And we will see you guys in the next video. Over here next to my head is another one that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Macintosh Plus, Sick and Panic, forever.